Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to all you Akim out there, pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and to all you believers out there who believe in the gospel. And it's the brother Kwara Abad from the GMS Houston camp. And want to go into another lesson, man. Sitting here reading here before I go on my little morning jog or whatnot. But sitting here looking through this Daniel 7. And when you go into this chapter, Daniel 7, it gives a rundown on the empires that was going to be leading all the way up to the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of the Israelites, which the Heavenly Father will have his son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorant called Jesus. He will sit upon the throne in the kingdom. It's going to be his rulership, man. What he fought for when he was on the earth, you see? And by default, if he ruling, of course, his people going to rule with him. Just like the so-called white man in rulership, that's why it's a thing called white supremacy, because they got the upper hand. You know, when in Egypt, when Pharaoh was ruling, the Egyptians had the upper hand. Well, when an Israelite rule, which is Yahweh Shai, guess what? The Israelites, we going to have the upper hand, right? Nevertheless, though, going back to Daniel 7, when you read through that, it starting at the Assyrian Babylonian Empire, and it goes down from there, which is, you had the Medes and the Persians, then the Greeks after them, then the Roman Empire, and it even talks about all the way to the day where we at, America, right? America, and then it goes into the kingdom of heaven. But I'm gonna hop to the bottom of the chapter, because Daniel, as he had this dream and seeing how the rulerships that was gonna come into play, right? He asked the angel. He said, "What's the truth of all this?" He said, "What's the truth of all this?" And the angel go tell him. So what is he asking? Look, what does this mean? Why did I see this beast? And with the 3 ribs in the mouth and this and that, and the one came after the other. What does this mean? What's the truth of all this? Well, look, at the end of the day, once you read through it, the truth of all of it is that the Israelites go rule the world, man. At the end, that the truth is that once Yahweh Shai come, no other nation go rule. You see, the truth is that the Lord, being a merciful power, you see, and balance, he allowed every nation to have an opportunity to have rulership, man, to have their rulership. Well, it just so happened that the Israelites, being the chosen people, which consists of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, just so happened that we the chosen people, and the Lord have given us the rulership of the world, other planets, forever, literally forever, eternity, man. And once you read this, that's what it's talking about. These other nations going to have a chance to rule. But at the end of the day, the judgment is that the Israelites going to always rule, man. So I'm going to hop into that. Lord willing, this lesson be edifying, and we'll get up out of here. But, so this is Daniel 7. Now, again, once you read from Daniel 1, I'm going to just read Daniel 1 and jump down. It says, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream. And the visions of his head, it says, in visions of his head upon his bed, then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my night visions by night, and behold, the 4 winds of the heaven strove upon a great sea. And he said, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. And these 4 beasts are symbolic for 4 different rulerships that was going to be in the earth. Right? Now I'm going to jump down. It says, and we know that was what? Starting right here, you had the first, which is the lion with the eagle's wings, which is the Assyrian Babylonian Empire. Then next you had, it says a bear, and that was the Mede and the Persians. Then you had the leopard. That was the Greeks. That's when the so-called white man first came into rulership. You see? Then it goes down to that Roman Empire, man. And then it comes down to the day. But let's jump down to verse 15. So this after Daniel then got the vision. It says, I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit and in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. And I came near unto one of them that stood by and asked, listen to this, the point, well, not the point, but it says, and asked him of the truth of all this. What does this mean? It says, so he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. It says, these great beasts, which are four, and four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. This is the truth of all this. This is what this means. Look, the Lord gonna set up 4 different empires on the earth to rule. Heathen rule empires on the earth to rule. But at the end of the day, the judgment still gonna sit. And the truth is that what it says, I'm gonna read it again. I came near, verse 16, unto one of them that stood by and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me and made me know the interpretation of the things. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth, the heathens, right? Rulerships. It says, but the saints of the Most High, the Israelites, shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever, man. So at the end of the day, no matter what happened on earth, no matter what the so-called white man try to do, his New World Order, Project Megiddo, Agenda 21, HARP, whatever it is, at the end of the day, no matter what he do, what moves he make, who don't believe in the truth, it's still going to be fulfilled, and the Israelites still going to rule on the earth. That's the truth of all this, man. And it says the interpretation is show. Let's read down, though. It says, then I would know the truth of the 4th beast, which is what? The Roman Empire. It says, then I would know the truth of the 4th beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron and nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamp the residue with his feet, which Rome did do. That's why I ain't going to Daniel 2. Those legs was of iron. That was Rome, that 4th empire, man. You see? And it says, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn. And what's that horn? That horn is America. You see? Because what? America came out of the British, like it said, what that is, Revelation 17, and the 8th, even is of the 7th. What that is, that's in Revelation 17. And then, matter of fact, if you go to the beginning of this chapter in Daniel 7, let's read it. Daniel 7, and I'm going to start at 7, going into the Roman Empire again. It says, and after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, the 4th one again, right? The legs of iron, right? But in this sense, it's given a beast likeness. It says, dreadful and terrible, strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. It was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. And it says, I consider, which today, the 10 horns of this current beast is what? The EU. And you got NATO, who's also a part of the beast, and you got that woman, that whore, that rider for appointed America, man. But it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. And this little horn, this is America, right? Who had that deadly wound. Babylon, the Great America, is the revised Roman Empire, man. That deadly wound that was healed. But it says, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And that's going into America coming into its power, right? The different wars it went through. And what you got? You had the French-American War, you see, which was the British against the French. Because remember, America had to come out of that British, and it was by way of the 13 colonies. So that was the first one, the French. And then next you had the American Revolution. And that was when, the 13 colonies was separating from the British. That's what what we know as the Declaration of Independence, 1776. So that was the American Revolution, right? And then you had the Spanish-American War, which is the U.S. against the Spain, man. So look, that's those three horns that fell. Now let me go back to this. Matter of fact, let me finish it. That was those 3 horns that was plucked up. It says, and of the 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn, which is America, were eyes like the eyes of a man, and of a mouth speaking great things. So going back to verse 20, Daniel 7:20, and of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, America, right? Even of that horn had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, in the same horn made war with the saints. Right? And that's the time we in now. What we've been seeing in our captivity here in America. That horn had been making war with the saints, man. You see? Going back to shit, what they say, Columbus, you know, the Northern Kingdom, right? Much blood was spilt, you know. Jake and the whole, but the Southern Kingdom when they came, right? Transatlantic slave trade. And this horn have been making war with the saints since then. And not just by even bloodshed, but by way of policies, right? Making it ways so we can't get jobs. And if we do get a job, we the last hired, first fired, lowest paid, right? The prison system, you see, making war with us, man. Right? But it says, and I beheld, and the horn, which is American, I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came. And this is the truth of all this, man. Yeah, we've been going through captivity after captivity. Yeah, our people have been suffering in America. We know that. We see it. We suffering too. You know? Like you had Willie D. He said he don't believe that God gonna help black people. It's been too long. He took too long. Well, look, we understand that, but look, the judgment had a certain time period. 2nd Esdras 4:37, I believe it says, the Most High don't move nor stir the times until the said measure be fulfilled, man. Whenever it's time for the Most High to have his prophecies fulfilled, that's when it's gonna happen. Not before, not after, when he wanted to happen, man. So he ain't taking too long. It just ain't the time for it. That's why it says, wait ye upon the Lord. But the point is, although we've been in this predicament, look, we about to get saved up out of here because it's according to prophecy. That's what the judgment is. That's what's the truth of this whole matter. You know, like Esdras. Like Esdras, he kept asking all the questions. Why this, Lord? Why that? Why this happening? If we your chosen people, why we suffering under the heathens which you don't even love, which you don't even care for? Why is this going on? The Lord had to tell him, chill, look, you don't know my judgments. You don't know my plans. You know what I mean? You know? But look, it's coming. I'm going to bless y'all though at the end. Well, look, we coming into that blessing. Like what that is, 2nd Esdras 5:40. One of my favorite scriptures, man. Matter of fact, let's get it. Let's get it real quick, and I'm going to go back to that Daniel. 2nd Esdras 5, and here you go, 5:40. It says, then said he unto me, because Esdras is asking all them questions, right? It says, like as thou canst do none of these things that I have spoken of, because Esdras couldn't answer, because look, the angel said, look, if you could answer the questions that I got for you, then I'll tell you what's the will of the Most High. And Esdras couldn't answer none of the questions. The angel was like, tell me, weigh me the weight of a fire, right? You know, show me the image of the wind, so on and so forth. So Esdras said, then said he unto me, like as thou canst do none of these things that I have spoken of, since you can't answer the questions, it says, even so canst thou not find out my judgment. You ain't go know why I do things in the earth, but this the point. It says, and even so canst thou not find out my judgment, or in the end the love that I have promised unto my people, man. Come on, man. So look, Esdras, you can't find out why I do things. I know you don't understand that I chose y'all and now I'm making y'all suffer. I know you don't understand it, but look, you ain't gonna understand either the love that I got for y'all in the end. I'm gonna bless y'all more than you can even imagine. So just chill and be patient. That's the time we coming into, man. We about to receive that blessing. You see? We about to receive that blessing. Let's go back to Daniel 7. And Lord willing, we are that first dominion, man. You know? The ones who get saved up out of Babylon, you know? and whatever brothers and sisters scattered. But this Daniel 7 and 21, and I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Come on, man. We about to possess the kingdom because America clearly falling. This is that horn. That horn that's been prevailing against us is about to fall. And what happens after that? 2nd Ezra 6. What shall be the end of these things? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. This is the truth of the whole thing. This is the truth of the matter. This is why we've been suffering, because we about to come into the blessing. We've been going through the straight. Now we about to come into the broad, man. It's prophecy. You can't stop Yahushua from coming back and claiming what's rightfully his. You can't stop the Yahushua elect, from coming and owning and having say-so in their own creation, man. Come on, man. You can't stop the Lord's movie, Let's continue on. It says, and thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms and devour the whole earth. Hey, also telling you that is Esau, because every other nation ain't have rulership over the whole earth. It was only 2 nations in the scriptures that was prophesied to have rulership over the entire earth. You see, and the so-called white man fulfilled his part of it by way of America. Because you think about it, even going back to the Greeks, Alexander the Great, they ruled over the whole world. Even Rome, they ruled a great majority of it, but not this portion of it over here in the West. But that was fulfilled through America. That's why what it said in Jeremiah, I believe, the hammer of the earth. And Jacob was also given the same thing. No other nation. Nebuchadnezzar ain't ruled over here in the Americas. You see? Darius and Belshazzar ain't ruled Alaska. Ain't had no rulership over there in Alaska. But Esau do, and we will. So this telling you that this beast is the so-called white man. This right here, the fourth one, is Rome, and the end of it is America. That deadly wound finally being completely dead, taken out the way. Not revised no more and healed a little bit, And it says, and shall devour the whole earth, because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and other shall arise after them. America, that's that other. Right? And the other shall arise after them. He shall be diverse from the first. He shall subdue 3 kings. Again, that's those, French, American War, Spanish American War, and the American Revolution. And it says, and subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given unto his hand until a time and a dividing of times. And that's the time we in now. We still in that time. We still living out our captivity in these dividing of times. But this the thing, again, what's the title of the lesson? The truth of all this. Yeah, Esau been ruling. Yeah, he got the power. Yeah, white supremacy a thing. But what's the truth of all this? What's going to happen? What's the end game, in other words? Well, let's read on. It says, and they shall be given into his hand unto a time and a dividing of times. It says, but the judgment shall sit. Although this man been ruling, it's still something else that coming after. It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven on earth. It says, under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him, man. That's the truth of all this. That's why the course of the world is what it is. That's why different empires rise and fall. All that so eventually the nation of Israel can get that everlasting kingdom that Adam once had, that was promised to Abraham. It said in Hebrews 11, Abraham was looking for it, right? He didn't get it, right? But he gonna get it. You see? You know? And we coming into that time, we about to witness that, man, Lord willing. We're in them times. This can't, Esau, it said, Yahweh Shai said, a kingdom divided against itself shall not stand. Look how much divided America has become. Then it's called the United States, right? But look, it was in power. America had much power when it was doing good, when it was the United States, right? But now that it's divided, look at the condition that it's in, man. It can only fall. You got different opinions over still Biden, Trump, different opinions over the vaccine. You know, you got Texas and other cities, states talking about no mask. In other words, fuck the mandate. We doing what we want to do. It's about to be more divided. You see, eventually it's gonna have to be blood spilled, and then look, that's gonna cause Jacob trouble, and you know, the chip gonna be issued out eventually. Shit gonna be shut down, and then World War III gonna have to pop off. In the midst of that, Yahweh Shai go come back, beam up the elect. America go get destroyed. The elect go get crowned, and eventually, after the wedding ceremony, come back down and take over the earth. That's what it's going into, man. That's what we coming into. Let's read it again. It says, verse 25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, America, right? And shall wear out the saints of the Most High and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and a dividing of times, which we in now. It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. Talking about the white man, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. So that when America get destroyed, it says, and take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, everything, heavens and under the heavens on earth. It says, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, the Israelites, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominion shall serve and obey him. And it says, hitherto is the end of the matter. This is the end game. This is the end of the story. This is how it's going to end. You see? It says, hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much trouble me, and my countenance changed in my heart, but I kept the matter in my heart, man. These things are show. It's gonna happen. First Corinthians 15, it says, Yahweh Shai, let's get that. Let's get that. 1 Corinthians 15 and 23. It says, but every man in his own order. Mashiach, the first fruits, afterward they that are Mashiachs at his coming. So his subject matter is talking about the coming of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, right? When he come, every man go get beamed up in his order. You go have the Lord come back, then 144,000. That's why it says the first fruits. Then it says afterward, they that are Mashiachs at his coming. That's that great multitude of Israelites, the believers, the 1/3, man. And it says, then cometh the end. What we just talked about in Daniel 7, the end of that horn. That was the end of Esau. So the end of Esau coincides with the coming of the Lord, man. You see, it says, then cometh the end when he shall have, that's why it says, who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? David Guzik, right? It says, then cometh the end when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the Most High, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power, for he must reign till he have put all enemies under his feet, man. That's talking about the Lord Yahweh Shai. That's the end of Esau. When Esau fall, everything gonna fall. Like it said in Daniel 2. Let's go to that. When that stone come, the whole statue, the whole heathen existence gonna be destroyed and forgotten about, man. All them rulerships. What that is, Daniel, right? Yeah, Daniel 2. Let's get that and end it. I just wanted to hit that Daniel 7 anyway, but go with the spirit. This Daniel 2, and this another dream that Nebuchadnezzar had, that Daniel had to interpret, man, of the kingdoms that was going to be leading up to the kingdom of heaven, right, to the Israelites rulership. So it says, Daniel 2:32, this image's head was of fine gold, which was Babylon, his breast and his arms of silver, Medes and the Persians, his belly and his thighs of brass, the Greeks, his legs of iron, Rome, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Why part of iron? Because that part of what was in Rome is part that was ruling today. That deadly one was healed, America, that came out of the system of Rome, man. The revised Roman Empire. You see, and of course you have NATO, EU, these other countries that have a portion of power because they in agreement with America, certain trade deals, so on and so forth, man. So it says, and thou sawest till that a stone, which is Yahushua, that rock, right? Till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet. Why? Because Yahushua, again, he's coming in the end of who? Esau. That's why he smote the image in the feet at the bottom of it, the end of the statue. The times we in now, he ain't smite the image in the head when Babylon and Nebuchadnezzar was ruling. He ain't make his second coming then. It wasn't in the Greeks when Alexander the Great. His first coming was in what? The Roman Empire. So when he come back as this stone, that lion now, he go come back and defeat the rulership of Edom, man. And it says, thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were of iron and clay, and break them to pieces. Then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, the gold, all the heathens' rulership, their ways of life, thought pattern, agenda, right? The glory of them. People, civilization started in Rome. Rome was the greatest empire. America, the greatest country today. All that talk gonna be forgotten about. It says, then was the iron, the clay, the brass, the silver, the gold broken to pieces and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, that no place was found for them. And the stone that smote the image became a great mountain, and filled the whole earth, man. You see? So that's the kingdom of Yahushua, which is the kingdom of Israel. And that's why the apostles asked them this, and we'll end it. This is what we coming into. This is Acts 1. And it says, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 2. Because of what they about to be talking about in verse 3. The apostles going to ask Yahushua something in verse 6, right? So it had to be something they wanted to come bad, man. Just like we want the same thing to come, which is the kingdom. Let's read it. Acts 1 and 2. Until the day, it says, I'm going to start at 1. It says, the former treaties have I made, O Theophilus, of all that Yahushua began to do and to teach, until the day which he was taken up. After that, through the Holy Spirit, had given commandments unto the apostles whom he had chosen, to whom also he showed himself alive after his passions by many infallible proofs, being seen of them 40 days, and speaking of the things. So for 40 days after Yahushua rose, this is what he was talking about with his disciples, right? Which was a turned apostles. This is what he was talking about to them, right? It says, being seen of them 40 days, and speaking of the things pertaining to the kingdom of heaven. So look, imagine what they was talking about, man. It's the same things we know about the kingdom of heaven, they had to be talking about. We know about we're gonna have dominion over the earth. We know the new planets. Well, look, Yahushua even told them about the planets. John 14. He said, I go to prepare a place for you. In my Father's house are many mansions, roughly paraphrasing. And I go to prepare a place for you. In my Father's house are many mansions. He said, if it was not so, I would have told you. In other words, I ain't lying to you. If it wasn't true, I would have never told you that it was. You know? You see? So they was talking about these things, the heathens, the many children, all that, the power. They had to be going into that. You see, and many other things. It ain't written, so we don't gotta know them, But at least we know they was talking about things pertaining to the kingdom. And this is what it says. So this is why they go ask this question. Verse 6, and when they therefore will come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, will thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? So after talking about the kingdom, they said, Lord, you about to get that to us right now? Shit, when we go receive it? Where's that? They had to want it, man. But look, we want that same thing. That's why Apostle Hall coined this year, the year of hastening until the day of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, until the coming of the Lord, man. Because we want that. Looking for and hastening until the coming of the day of the Lord. We want the wickedness to be put out of the way. We want righteousness to be set up. We want to see Yahweh Shai, man. We want to get out the flesh, so on and so forth. There's many reasons. Shit, many reasons, so much they reached unto the heavens. As the scripture said, Babylon's sins have reached unto the heavens, man. But from talking about the kingdom, they said, when they therefore will come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Lord, is you about to set us up right now? You see, but look, this is the time the Lord is about to set us up. We in those times, man. We looking for it now. Again, we in the year of the hastening the coming of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, man. But I just wanted to go into that, man. That's the truth of all this. That's the end game. That's the end game. The world ain't go in when the so-called apocalypse come and the whole world ain't gonna be destroyed. No, the so-called white man rulership gonna be taken out of the way, his power, and then the Israelites, we gonna be set up to rule with under our Lord Yahweh Shai, man, King David, man. You see, forever, But Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And peace and blessings to all you Akim out there pushing this word with all truth and sincerity. And to all you believers out there as well who believe on the gospel. And keep fighting, keep pushing. And with that, shalom.